Hi guys, welcome back to part 3 of this week's YAWA. I'm Kat the dog trainer.
I'm the guy with the pink gun. And if this is your first time to the channel, I am sorry that you are just now finding us, but I'm so excited to be able to share with you all of the content we've created and everything that we're about to. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss anything that is coming in the future.
And all of the great content we've done in the past.
We did some math in the last ep. Was it part 1 or part 2 you did math?
Math, part 1, I think.
Part 1 we did math and figured out that if we post a video every single day, that adds up to 365 videos this year.
Crazy.
It's a lot. We are on the train thus far to being pretty dang close to that. We're going to be on the north side of 300 videos this year, I know for sure. So we don't want you to miss any of that. Now, in the first 2 parts, we covered a lot of great stuff, some of which included, you're going to have to go back and watch them. Now, let's get on to some questions for this one.
First question from Larry Embry on Facebook. Happy to see you are doing another lab puppy series in the future.
It's funny you mentioned that. We're actually going to be doing that lab series with Lone Duck. It's Bob Owens that owns Lone Duck Kennels out in New York. And this little black male, I believe, is what we're getting. It's I think that there's only black male options, so it won't be...
We're getting a black lab male puppy.
We're getting a black lab male puppy. But we're going to be doing a video. This is something that we've had a ton of questions about, and we get asked all the time when people come to pick up puppies from us. How do we go about coming to get the dog? Because we actually don't ship our puppies, so you have to come get them. And a lot of times we recommend, if you're a good distance away, fly in and fly the puppy back with you as your carry-on item. So we're going to be taking the trip. Kat and I are going to vlog that and show you what it's like, how to prepare, what you need to be able to fly out, to pick up your puppy and fly your puppy back with you. The process is easy, and we're going to show you what that looks like.
So on to your question, Larry. Puppy question for YAWA. Our 4.5-month-old lab puppy gets Zoomies. They are funny to see once in a while, tough not to laugh when she does them. But I worry that she is out of control and will get hurt, or that they could become a pattern or habit. I have seen it triggered from being scolded. Normally, though, she seems to get frustrated or excited with a toy and off she goes. It is a bit difficult to stop, redirect once it starts. What are your thoughts on Zoomies in puppies? Are they normal puppy things? Do you let them happen, ignore them, stop them, or try to settle the puppy down? Oh, there was more to that question. Eek. Or try to settle the puppy down out of... I got to go back to Facebook and find it.
I'm going to start answering that question while Kat looks for the rest of it, because Zoomies, for those of you that don't know, it's just a more or less random seeming outburst of energy and excitement in a dog.
I think that's probably like an actual dictionary.
Let me look.
Producer, look that up.
Hey.
What is the definition of Zoomie?
And that's a really exciting thing Kat just mentioned, is a producer. There's a good chance that we're going to be moving that direction. We're going to actually have a producer here to help us with our YAWA videos. So stay tuned for that. I think you're going to enjoy it. Let's see. Zoomies.
They'll be able to jump in with all these little tidbits that we try and pull out on our own. But to finish that question,
also referred to as fraps.
Oh.
And I may say this wrong. Frenetic random activity periods. Refer to those unmistakable explosions of energy that dogs have on occasion. Zoomies are often featured frantic, repetitive behavior, such as running in circles or spinning around. To answer the first part of that we do know, Zoomies are 100% normal. Almost all, if not every dog does it at some point in time. And it is, again, 100% normal. Now, the thing that did you find it?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and read it.
Are they normal puppy things? Do you let them happen, ignore them, stop them, or try to settle the puppy down out of the frenzy and refocus?
Good.
Sorry, it took me a long time to get that all together now.
all together now. So 100% normal. And it is something that you're going to see. And if you haven't seen it with your dogs and you're wondering what the heck is this doing thing, it's going to happen at some point in time. They're going to get excited. They're going to be happy. There's going to be fresh air, something, zoomies. They're going to pop out. Now, the thing about them, and this comes down to everything that Kat and I preach with the development of a young dog. We're going to develop the behaviors that we want to see out of them as adults with them as puppies. And we've talked a lot about the fact that we don't allow overactive behavior in the house. No romping around, no jumping, no wrestling with the other dogs, no bouncing off the furniture. None of those things are allowed inside. So outside, fresh air, Zoomie, all you want. Have fun, knock yourself out.
Not literally, though.
It's a figure of speech.
I know, but they get crazy with those Zoomies. And sometimes, like you said, Larry, you're afraid they might get hurt. And it could happen if they're zooming around and another dog's out there zooming around with them. They can collide. They could definitely get hurt. So
speaking of collisions, it seems like it's an inevitable thing. You run multiple dogs in the field together. There is, tens of 20s of hundreds of acres of field, and it never seems to fail. The dogs are running independent of each other, just cross paths and run into each other.
And that can be pretty serious. So we try and avoid that happening at all possible, but it does happen. Like we talked about, it's a pretty normal situation. But back to your question about the frenzied energetic activity. So how do we mitigate that in the house?
100% with the puppies, we're going to interrupt that behavior and we're going to redirect focus to something else. I have said it over and over and over and over again, and I'm going to say it again because it's very important. Place training is something that we utilize a ton, especially during the development stage. And if you have a,
4.5-month-old,
it's even better, 18-month-old puppy, you should be able to incorporate some place training.
What?
18-week-old puppy. Math. 18-week-old puppy. I got the 18 part right now. Geez, give me a break, sister. So 18 weeks old, you should be able to start to incorporate some level of duration into your training sessions. And you've seen already, we put a lot of emphasis all through just suggestions to baby Thunder. And we do that via every time we give him a bone, we put it on his dog bed. And if he gets off the dog bed with the bone, we pick it up and we move it back to the dog bed and show him, hey, if you just stay here on the dog bed, you can have it and you can be interrupted. If you try and go over there, we're going to help direct you back.
And we utilize our adult dogs to hang out on the dog beds, and that pulls him to the dog bed because he wants to be with them. If you don't have an older dog, obviously that's not an option. But if you do, and your older dog is place trained or isn't, you could work on place training with them, which will allow your younger dog to also key off of that and develop that good behavior.
100%. And even this evening, I gave Thunder a small pork chomp treat. And we actually get it's the 8-inch rolled pork chomps. And then I cut them in half for a majority of our dogs. And sometimes we'll give them a whole one, but for the most part, we cut those in half and they make like the perfect size treat. But I gave him one of those half pieces and he's small enough that he can't do a whole lot with them even, but he's excited to chew on it for a little while and gave it to him. And what did he do? He ran to his dog bed and he is, right about 18 weeks old. What are they? Going on 12,
13
20.
and a half weeks old.
Heck, he's almost a year now. So he's got this stuff figured out. No, all jokes aside, he is a puppy, but he's already figuring out I should take my bone, go lay on the dog bed. And that's all
just through repetition and having some expectations with him. And
a few obedience sessions where we've kind of taught him that going under the dog bed, he can get rewarded for. So we've built a lot around that place training, and it gives us a lot of ability to help redirect focus and then to help them to have calm behaviors inside. Again, take your puppy outside. Let them have the Zoomies. It's fun. It's exciting. They need to be able to have fun and interact and
burn off a little energy.
Do dog things 100%, but it doesn't need to happen inside.
And you were saying, I don't want her to get hurt or that those will become a pattern or habit. And it's good that you're recognizing that, because anything a dog's doing consistently, they're conditioning themselves to. So if, every time she gets scolded, or every time she gets a toy and she's playing with it and she's getting excited or frustrated with it, she gets these Zoomies, well, she's going to think that that's how she interacts. That's how she plays in the house. That's the way that she does things, and redirecting that, interrupting that behavior, and having calm expectations of go chill on your dog bed while we're inside is definitely something that we would recommend.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So great question, Larry. Finally got it all spit out there. Had to go back to Facebook and get the rest of the question, which it was only missing like 2 words, but it had at the bottom of it, see more. So had to go back for Facebook reference. But next question, which this is also a really great question and something that we can definitely relate to with our son, Aiden, from Allison J. Jones on Instagram. First off, thank you so much for taking the time to create all this awesome content. You're welcome.
You're very welcome.
We're bringing home our first GSP middle of August, and thanks to your videos and blog posts, I'm feeling confident and prepared. Awesome.
You should also be checking us out at patreon.com/Standing Stone Kennels. If you need help with that, there is a link directly on our website to our Patreon page. But there we are set up to give you guys the most powerful tool that Kat and I have, which is the ability to read dogs and training sessions. So if you haven't already checked it out, check it out.
Especially if you're bringing home a new puppy in the middle of August, you're probably going to have some questions and might need some help with those beginning training sessions. So feel free to reach out to us there as well. But my question is, how do you go about introducing young puppies to your son, and how did you prep your son for meeting the puppies? I want to do what I can to set up my kids ages 2 and 4 and our new pup for success and a mutually respectful and fun-loving relationship. Thanks again for the work you're doing. So this is a really good question. We also had another question very similar from practice_mommy on Instagram. How do I teach my puppy not to jump on my toddler when he falls over? Puppy is getting really good at not taking snacks, toys, etc. from the baby.
Oh, good. That's a good start.
That's a very good start. But every time my son, 18 months, which is like almost the exact same age as Aiden, he's 19 months, falls over, puppy seems to think it's a game and jumps all over him, licking his face.
100%. And I have no illusion here. All right, folks. We are people just like you. Our kid is a kid just like your kid, and our puppies are puppies just like your puppies. They do all of the things. The thing about it is being able to recognize and know how to handle those things, and the faster you can work through them, the less conditioned they become and the less that you see the problem. For example, and we're going to be shooting a video very soon. If you've been following along with our channel, you've probably seen Thunder's nail trimming videos, and his first nail trimming video was horrible. I mean, he's biting me, he's fighting, he's throwing a fit, he's trying to get anything and everything he can do to get out of it. And second session was much, much better. And then we haven't shot another video yet.
But it still took him quite a while to settle down and calm down and fully relax.
Yeah, absolutely did. But we saw some improvement, and
no biting.
No biting. Pretty much in that one session and just being consistent, we were able to work through that. Now we are continuing to progress, and he's still not by any means perfect, but we're utilizing the exact method that we did in the second session. Just doing that once a week, and then holding him in the position and helping him to get used to that on a more regular basis. And then we will shoot let's see when he actually hits that mark. And I almost shot it this last week here. So he would have been, we just talked about this, 13 weeks old, or between 12 and 13 weeks old, to show you that he's almost perfect. I mean, it took him a little bit to settle down, and then he was just like, all right, fine, trim my nails. And that is where we want them to be. And it did not take very long. I mean, to consider the fact that we started at 8 weeks and now he's 13 weeks, that's 1 month of training sessions, and we're almost there. So all of these things are possible through good timing and proper repetition and knowing what to do. So
where are you going with that?
I'm going with the fact that we have a kid and a puppy, and the kid and the puppy are doing these things, but being able to know what we need to do to help them is beneficial. And that all stems back to some questions that we answered in, I think, the first part about dogs being dogs.
Yeah, at the very
beginning. Yeah. Very end of the very beginning.
End of the beginning.
Watch part 1 and part 2, folks. So we first of all, we have realistic expectations of Aiden, and we have realistic expectations of the puppy. And those involve...
we also advocate for both.
Yes, advocating for both and teaching both the manners. So we have to help Aiden to understand that rolling on the ground and giggling and screaming and things like that are going to entice the puppy to want to play with him. And if the puppy starts playing too rough, Aiden has to stand up for himself and say, no, puppy, leave me alone. And that's what we've taught him. You said, no, just tell the puppy no. And if the puppy starts jumping on him or doing anything else, you'll hear him. He's like, no, puppy, no.
It's actually more like, no, in his cute little Aiden voice.
Yep, it sounds very similar to that. Wait. Let's do that one more time.
Just rewind it and play it again.
Okay. Pausing for the rewinding. No, puppy, no.
It's actually more like, no, in his cute little Aiden voice.
Okay. So the other side of it is, though, at the same time, Aiden will take a toy and he'll be swinging around and playing and giggling, and he'll hit Thunder with the toy. And we have to say, hey, kiddo, that isn't okay. You can't slap grandpa. You can't pull on his ears. You can't pull on his tail. Like when the dogs are running around, he loves to grab the dog's tails and hold on. All of those things could potentially get him in a situation with the wrong dog, that he could get into trouble, as well as he's just not respectful.
Right. He doesn't need to be doing that with our dogs or any dogs.
It's a big pet peeve. It's a big pet peeve of mine. I don't mean to cut you off, but it's like you see other people say, oh, my dog's so wonderful with the kids. Look, it just lets them crawl over and pull their ears and do all these things. And it's like, yeah, I mean, he's tolerant or she's tolerant, which is fantastic. But, have a little respect for the dog in a situation that they shouldn't have to tolerate those things. Let's say, kids, let's have a little respect for the dog and play with, pet, love on, give affection, but do it in an appropriate way. Let's go ahead and pet them on the head nice, not just jerk on their ears and jump on them. As well as
we've talked about, dogs are dogs, and unpredictable things happen, and your dog could have a sore spot one day or an ear infection, and then your kid jerking on their ears, it's going to hurt, and they might snap at them and scare them at the least, but hurt them. And it's, yeah, your dog shouldn't potentially bite your kid, but also your kid shouldn't be ragging on their ears and hurting them either. So advocating for both is really important. But an 18-month-old, your kid should be able to
on the edge of,
be able to say no, push the puppy a little bit away. And yeah, they fall over and the puppy thinks it's so fun and it's a game, lick, 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 lick. And the kids sometimes also think that that's fun because Aiden will giggle like a little maniac when that happens sometimes. But we just tell him
his face scratched or something like that.
Because it can escalate really easily. And so we're like, Aiden, you need to stand up. And so we're there supervising all of the interactions, and we are coaching Aiden on how he needs to behave if he falls down or if the puppy's getting in his business, as well as saying, hey, you can't act that way with him, as well as we're, redirecting Thunder's focus if he starts getting overly amped and overly excited with him. We're like, hey, knock it off. Let's settle down.
Yeah. And then here is a toy or a bone or something of equal or greater value. That's a very important thing about understanding. We talk about switching dogs for things to redirect focus or help through distractions. And people say, oh, this doesn't work for me or whatever else. Well, the key to that is finding something that's equal or greater value. And if you don't have that, no, it's not going to be something to pull the puppy's focus away from the task or the situation at hand. But once you find that, which usually for Thunder, a chew bone right now, and we have lots of different options for that. He likes what are they like?
They're braided. Those
braided, and they say like milk and bacon and something else.
Yeah, it's like 3 different strands.
He absolutely loves those. He loves the chew bones. I mean, that's a big thing for him. So we hand him one of those and he's ready to be focused on going and doing that. But as far as the key to the whole situation is for advocating for both and teach them both the rules and expectations. There are situations where, you know, Aiden's like, dogs just leave me alone. And you have to recognize there are times where you just have to say, okay, we're done with this for now. Let's, maybe it's time for a little bit of crate time for the puppy, and then the puppy can come out while Aiden's napping or something along those lines. So there are limitations to what you can accomplish in a day, and just understand all of those things, and I think you'll be a lot better off.
Yeah. And for Allie, you've got a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. Both of them should be able to understand some expectations, and having them help work with things with your puppy will be awesome as well. Aiden loves helping feed the dogs. He's not always the best at it and spills a lot of dog food, but he really enjoys getting to help with the scooper and pouring it in their bowl and setting their bowl down for them. So giving the kids responsibilities, I think, with the dogs really makes a difference for them as well, because they want to be involved and they want to help, and giving them things that they can do that are appropriate and being directed by you and coached by you will be really helpful for them to feel like they have a role with the puppy.
Yeah, the more that you can incorporate everybody in the family into the puppy's training and development, the better off you're going to be.
Definitely.
Well, guys, this bourbon is a little bit, whew.
Well, I'll finish it for you, babe.
Thank you.
He's out of bourbon, and we're out of time this week.
I'm the guy with the pink gun.
And I'm Kat, the dog trainer.
And we will see you guys in the next video.